Hello, good evening and welcome. Good evening, Ian. There's two in at the moment. I've seen two. And how is everyone? Everyone, there's two. How is Ian and whoever the other one is? Yes, well, you know. Oh, we're down to one now, are you, Ian? Oh, no, it's Valleys. Hello, Valleys. How are we doing, Cocker? Mm, I'm just focusing in camera. I don't know if this thing zooms in and I'd have to move. I suppose. Whatever. Whatever, Trevor. Hang on, is it that way? No, it's that way. And up. That's. I'll never touch enamels again since I've gone acrylic. I'll never touch them, Valleys. This shit and well, they're not. It's harsh saying this shit, but they're a lot of hassle compared to acrylics. And acrylics, you have a enamels is a narrow selection of stuff you've got. Everybody's catering for acrylics now. So you have so many special paints and special effects paints and so many colours they cater for. It's a no-brainer. They're more friendly to use in the house. They're more environmentally friendly. I'm seeing if I can share pictures tonight. Let's just have a look at one here. I'll see if I can share pictures. If I understand how chisel works. I probably don't. But, right, pictures, models. Where's models? There we go. Let's see where that. Let's see where we roll with that. Here we go. I'm back on now, share screen. See if I can do this. Yeah, there we are. Now this is all painted in enamels, acrylics, and it's all brush painted as well. I've not used an airbrush, just fully acrylics. And I mixed paints as well. Ultimately, I've got a better job with my airbrushes, but also you can do a damn good job with brushes as well. All I did for that to do the weathering was use the basic colour and then add a little white for the fading on the panels. Like it's a no-brainer really. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. And now I've discovered Hang on. No, it's oh, shine on. I keep forgetting myself. I'll get it. It is a dive bomber. But hang on. Shine on, I can't think. I'm getting cerebral Alzheimer's nowadays. It'll come to me. I wouldn't mind. I've held the boxes in my hands because I've got another one in the back room. I've held boxes in my hand a million times. I built the model kit, read instructions, looked up colours, and I still can't think of the name of it. Helldiver. It's a Curtis Helldiver. Yeah, I didn't end up going to the doctors because it got really big and really painful. And then I got a sort of shaft popped up inside of my mouth under my tongue. And I knocked it out with my tongue. It was like a little stick. And I knocked it out with my tongue and it were all like calcium. And after that come out, it just went down. So I think my salivary ducts had stones in them. I reckon. Because it took a few days to go down, but practically non-existent now. So it was, I think from all accounts, what I can work out, it was saliva duct stones. Only very small, like, but it was weird. It was like a little bit of a stick like that, only very sharp. But it must have been blocking saliva ducts. Weird. It ballooned up though, it was like a bloody little balloon there. Yeah, you know, I've come to the conclusion, Ian. I don't worry. I don't worry if I get shit like that. I probably should worry more than I do, but the thing is, I'm 60, I'm old. Eventually, there ain't no dodging it. We're gonna go. It's shit. I prefer being a teenager and doing it all again. But it's not infinite. Your days will end eventually. It's a bit depressing, but the idea is to make the most of every day while you're here. And I think I've done that. And working in the line of work I work in, I see young people die. And it's just wrong for me, young people going before us that haven't had the chance to see anything alive. Haven't had the chance to. I mean, I've had the chance, but I've kicked it in the arse. I've never wanted to get married, but that's a choice. But these kids, they've never had a chance to have relationships, get wed, never had a chance to visit abroad. And, well, some did visit abroad, but I watched a few young uns going, it's heartbreaking. Yeah, I know you're not far behind me, Ian, but that's my view. I'm not scared of dying in the slightest. The only thing I'm scared of is if it'll hurt when I'm fucking going. Really. If they give me drugs so it doesn't, I don't give a shit. Oh, I'm always an happy camper, Mick. I'm a little ray of sunshine, mate. Little ray of sunshine. But I just view life is what it is. There ain't no get out of jail for free card once you your allotted time comes up. How death there sat with a roll of paper going, come in 59, your time is up. Yeah, it is a shit thing about getting old, but the thing I most resent about getting older is when I've accrued all the knowledge for modelling, all the tips, and you've got all this brilliant knowledge, then your eyes and your hands fuck up on you. What's that all about? Why was it why was I a dumb shit when I was younger, when I had fantastic eyesight and steady hands? What's that all about? Thing is, fellas, when it comes to us all, I don't have a depressing view of it. I just view it as nature. It is, like I say, it is what it is. It's not depressing. And I don't believe in an afterlife because I'm not religious, which makes me appreciate what I actually have instead of thinking, oh, I've got something better after. I was talking to a Muslim girl at work the other day. I said, I don't believe in heaven and hell. I said, but with you lot, they meant to get 47 virgins or whatever it is. I said to her, I said, no, in my lot, they'd all be blokes. And she had a laugh because, like, nice girl, but yeah, it's a very crap thing when you get older. But what we've got to look at is you got to a point that a lot of people were denied it. And you've got to do things with that time. And because I don't think there is anything else after. So you make the most of what you see in this world. And you appreciate it more. You appreciate the beauty in it more. Like I can walk down the road in my own place here and I can see things and think, oh, wow, what a beautiful. Even from my own window, I'll show you a photo what's up the other morning. Even just looking out my own window. You can't beat it. Where is it? That's the one I edited, I think. No, that's NEF. Looking for a JPEG file. There we go. 0061. Open that up. Yeah, even just looking out my own window. I'll just put it up. Now I've learned it. Now I've learned how to share screens. Go. just out of my window the other morning. Absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, I don't know how many more I'll see. God willing, it'll be a few. Well, God willing. I'm not a believer in it, but it's just a term of phrase, isn't it? God willing, I'll see a few more. Well, you know, Ian, I've had so much that reminds me of you. It wasn't just die-cast toys, that were nice, but motorcycles. When I used to be riding my motorcycle, like the big beast I used to have, and I always used to ride with a long-term friend since childhood, and we grew up with push bikes, then motorbike, and even so until a couple of years ago, when we were out on a ride out, say a blast over to the coast. If it were a nice sunny day, because we were riding in a pair, I'd hum the theme tune from Chips in an happy place, like riding along, going da 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 da. Fantastic. All the stuff like that reminds me of my youth and meeting old friends, talking about the people we were at school with, and I have some of the old folks I went at school with on my PC. I'm just shit talking about that. I've just seen another one. I didn't personally know her, but some of the girls I know knew her. Another one's passed away. We get into that age, nothing's infinite. But it states the skin. I think I need to moisturise. I'll start thinking, is it? Like, who was it? I'm trying to remember who it was. Oh, Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais's brother. He is brilliant. He's fun. In some ways, he's funnier than Ricky Gervais. He was at a family funeral, and he looked around and he saw one of the older family members, and he looked over at him and he just bluntly went, "Is it worth you going home?" Funny lad. Or another one, a copper. He was on a security guard detail or whatever. And again, Ricky Gervais had his brother in his car. And he was taking him to a studio and it was security. This copper, and he bent over and his helmet fell off. And a packet of cigarettes fell out from the helmet. And this copper turns right to Ricky Gervais's brother. And I says, I bet you always wondered what we had under our helmets. And quick as a flash, he turned round and said, well, it weren't going to be fucking brains, were it? He kills me. Ricky said, oh, they're going. Oh, God. Yeah, I bet you had the shits the day after as well, Ian. If you didn't wash them and sterilise. We all did it. We all used to do it. When we were playing out, you'd see a blackberry bush and you'd just pick them and eat them. My mate did it end of last year. He said, oh, a blackberry bush, I'll have a couple of that. And he picked some and had them. He said, day after I had shits. Scooby's here. All right, lad. Hey, I'll tell you what I was looking at the other day, Scooby. I was looking at diecast videos, and there's a guy done the Matchbox tanker, the one with the Ford tractor cab. Hang on, I've got one down here. Find one of the cabs. I've got the truck. I've got the trailer rather. I've just to find the tractor unit. Must be one. I've got 3 trailers. I've found 3 trailers and not a single tractor unit yet. Where's all tractor units gone? Oh, hang on. There we go. Found one. Right, Scooby. Here we go. You'll probably remember it, but that Matchbox, the Texaco petrol tanker, there's a guy did a rebuild. I found his channel, and he's done them in all different petrol company liveries: Texaco, Shell, BP, Exxon, anyone you can name. And he got fed up because he'd covered most of the petrol companies. So he did one as Scooby-Doo. Like the Scooby-Doo, and he looks pretty damn good. He did it he was going to do full-on Mystery Machine colours. But he did the tanker white, and I think he did the base a turquoisey blue or green. He was good though anyway. I've got about 3 down here, Scooby. I want to do a restoration of it. I was looking at his video to find out how you undo the tanker tops, and it's shown it, so I know now. I know where I'm going with it. Yeah, I have 3 of the buggers, Mick. I have 1 Shell and 2 Texaco. I've got the stickers for them, so I should get on and do one. I want some of the pipe for down the sides for the piping, but apart from that, I really like that model. I never had it as a kid, but I really liked it. Yeah, I never had that one as a kid. But yeah, there were some cracking models in Lesney's range. But anyway, here we go. Fred popped round the other day and left me some model railway stuff he didn't want. I took it in really happily. Some cracking stuff. An old Lima HO33 with a proper D couplers. So I can use it to hold some of my HO Continental stuff. I bought 5 wagons at last toy fair I went to. I'm in the process of weathering up an upper, which is that one. It wouldn't look out of place all in a raker then. Wouldn't look out of place. But yeah, I got that. And he also decided he'd had enough of that. The Lomac, which I'm in the middle of painting one of them. I'll show you in a minute. And he gave me, I quite like it. I'm unsure, I think I have some other Great Western ones, but he gave me a Great Western coach. 4-wheel, 2-axle. The wheel set's a bit sticky. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. It might have been knocked. Yeah, that's been knocked out. Oh no, it hasn't. It's been proper damaged. The flange is broken. I'll put some new wheels on that. But yeah, that Lomac. Just a minute. I'll take that out. I've been teaching myself wood effects. I got a Vallejo wood effects set, and I've been teaching myself painting wood effects. Where is it? Hang on. I've not done a video, and I've got a few more of these Lomacs, so I'll probably do. Typical, like I know it's in here. I put it in the other day. Typical, can't find the one I want. Yeah, the one that I want. There we go. Right at back. Yeah, I masked it off. Hang on. Just give the unpainted one a wipe off. Because there's some glue off. Hang on. Get some isopropyl. Remember not to use on the one I've painted. I don't mind so much if it takes the factory paints off at this stage, because I'm going to be repainting it anyway. Yeah, it's moving. I think it's glue from tape or something. It's removed some of the paint, but hey ho. But that's the Lomac as is. The Hornby release, that's how it is. More or less just, I think the bauxite's painted over the brown plastic, or is the, no, I think it might be the planking. Brown is painted over the bauxite. But the wood effects I have, yeah, that effect I've painted, that effect on them. So basically, if you put the two side by side, and I'm going to weather that as well. Oh, put the two side by side, and there's a big difference. As far as I'm aware, Scooby, the Toy Fair at Haywood went many years ago. I used to go regular. Well, I say regular as He was good in the 90s. It was a good tie for Haywood. But you got Bolton, and Bolton is, with all due respect, Haywood Civic Hall couldn't have expanded anymore. He'd had nowhere to go. And when Bolton started doing it, it's massive, Bolton. So really, there's no real point in doing the Haywood one, because if you're going to do a make around of it, it's going to be the Bolton one all the time. And Buxton's still going, but I've heard it's a bit cramped and they're close together, the stalls, so it's tough going negotiating it. The best ones I've found up to now are Bolton, Stafford, Doncaster's good. I wouldn't go to the NEC. There's one at NEC, but I just won't do the NEC. It's a pain in the arse for parking, and it's such a big place to navigate. Your car park will probably be a mile away from the hall you're in. So they usually arrange buses to get you to and from the hall, unless you're lucky. Plus, as well, you've got the ball acre driving down there to the middle of Birmingham, and yeah, I prefer smaller, intimate venues, but I'd love Haywood if it still existed. But a lot of the thing as well, the guy who had I don't know whether anybody knows the die-cast here, but Haywood, the guy that had the model shop, he converted it into the Corgi Heritage Centre. And it was a fantastic place. I visited it a couple of times. It was a fantastic model railway shop. And he had everything Corgi made in the 60s. He had cabinets full of them. And they were all pretty mint and boxed and everything. He had all the main ones, and he had loads of stuff you'd have never have heard of. And he had colour variations, but I think that now, that model shop's long gone. Worst thing, it were an outstanding model shop. I really loved it there, but hey ho, what can you say? Well, yeah, I had some bargains a day, back in the day. I don't think I have any of them left, but there we go. As you move through the hobby, I've sold up once, and I wouldn't sell up again unless something happened that give me incentive to sell up. Too much nice stuff. I've a lot of shit I could sell up to buy other stuff, I suppose. We all accumulate shit. But me more than most, I suppose. I've not got a big enough extension for the camera, but if I went to the back room or wherever, it's just silly with stuff. And one of them murders, I'd probably get crushed under the collapse. But yeah, Haywood was absolutely cracking. I used to love it. What I loved about Haywood, it was just right to navigate in the evening. It wasn't too big and it wasn't too small. It was just spot on. You could chill, walk around the stalls, and you could pretty much see everything there was on every stall. So you knew you'd seen everything, and you made your mind up. You go, I fancy this, I fancy that. I bought all sorts from Haywood. Oh, I have got something I got at Haywood at one of the swap meets. I still have the Corgi Fiat Saloon, and it wasn't mint, but it was a good example. It's in a box in my back room. That came from Haywood, and I still have it. And saying that, I think I bought the same night a Citroen Estate, a Citroen Safari Estate Corgi, and I think I still have that as well. So yeah, there are. I do still possess some things I bought from Haywood. Yeah, they definitely up there. Right, I'm just looking at my shelf. All my cars could do with a dusting. Good evening, Luke. Good to see you. Good to see you. To see you, good. Yeah, do I? But that I've still got that Fiat Estate car, the Corgi one. Fiat Saloon car, the Corgi version. It's like a, what would you call it? A lavender and dark mauve colour. Horrible colours. They're definitely 60s colours. But yeah, I got that from Haywood Swap Meet. It was a good old evening I used to like, and it were only up road. Were it? I can't remember now. It was usually a weekday night. Were it something like Wednesday or Thursday? I remember it were a midweek. It used to be a midweek swap meet, that one. It was either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I can't remember now. It's the dim and distant past Haywood. I'll look it up. I'll see, It'll probably tell you if they still do it online. I've not been to it, so I presume not. I'm guessing it does. They do an antiques and flea market. There's one on Saturday, 7th of May. Have a look at the swap meets and tie fairs. Oh, I doubt though. I doubt Haywood will still be on. I can't see them. I don't know. Yeah, it was a midweek one, but it probably were Wednesday. It were a midweek swap meet. It was good. Yeah, I think in Magenta Valleys, I think it was the Stags. I think Dolomite used it. Spitfires used it. What were the other Triumphs in it? I'm not sure if it was a TR7. It was definitely a TR6 colour, but I don't think TR7's got it. I might be wrong. That's got me inquisitive now. I'll go and check Google Images. Let's have a look. TR7 Magenta. No, doesn't bring a TR7 up in it. It's got TR7s, Dolomite Sprint, Stags, TR6, Spitfire. Yeah, I've got pretty much everyone they were in. I wonder if I put BL though, Magenta. I think it's only a Triumph colour, to be honest. Like you say, I don't think I saw it on any others. BL, Magenta. Hang on, I might have to be more specific. I've got all sorts of shit come up. No, only comes up for Triumphs. Yeah, only comes up for Triumph. So it must have been a Triumph specific colour. Yeah, because that's the only one I remember them on. Dolomite Sprint, TR6, the Stag, and the Spitfire. Yeah, those four in Magenta. Oh, way up, I'm just getting an heads up. The RAF Puma are doing farewell flights because they're retiring the Puma helicopter. And I've just got heads up. They're not doing up north, but I've just got heads up from someone in the north, an ex-RAF instructor, that they're going to visit my local aerodrome. I'll just have a look what time, and if I'm off, I might go out. Yeah, if I'm off, I might go out to it. I had an heart attack then. I thought I'd cut my cutters off. Right, get Facebook up again. Because I'd shut Facebook down. I got the warning, but I'd shut it. Now then, I haven't had me. God damn it, I'm working. Never mind. That puts that out the window. I'm working the day they visit. Never mind, they're in it. Anybody local to Barton, aerodrome in the northwest, they're visiting there on the 27th of March. Anybody that fancies seeing them before they retired? I got to the Gazelle retirement one. I got the heads up for when they were retiring the Gazelle. I've got a big load of photos for them. I'll display a couple. I got heads up for any interest in aircraft movements. Where's my pictures? Just find it. Yeah, I get heads up, so I get some interesting photos because I'm into my photography. Hang on. Got one up. Let's have a look, share that. There we go. That's one of them. That was on the Gazelle retirement. And just show another off. Just a minute. Where is it? I have the gang of them. The air crews. Hang on. Yeah, so I've got the air crews as well. I photographed them being presented with a cake from the staff at Barton. Oh, hang on. No, that's not it. There we go. There's the air crews. The lads that flew the retirement ones. Let's have a look. I've got somewhere you've got a few of them, a couple of them together coming in. Oh, no. What's that one like? Oh, a bit better. I didn't get one of the best vantage points, but it weren't too bad. Yeah, depending on what operations the Chinooks are on, you get the sporadic, they visit different places at different. We had an exercise up here and I got invited to go on board Navy Merlin. That were interesting. But yeah, Chinook were round them. We get Chinooks regular round here. Crossing over, they'll go into my local aerodrome to refuel. If I get up early enough in the morning, I'm going down to my local hotel because it has an helipad and what is it called? A national grid. Well, it's not national. It is National Grid that's operating it, but it's PDG helicopter services that own the heli, but National Grid are operating it. And it's in a local hotel that just down road from me. Went in today and landed. So he'll have been working today and landed. They'll have a kip over. He's probably used his hours up for flying, and it'd cost more to go back to base than stop up here because he's probably out again on a job up this neck of woods. And it's a lot of money to keep him in a 1 hour. I forget what it is, but it's thousands of pounds an hour to keep them in the air. Like the AS350 has 3 main rotor blades, and they don't last the entire life of the helicopter. They're a consumable, and they only last so many flying hours. So it's a regularly replaced item, and they're £100, £100,000 for each blade. So to replace all 3 blades on an AS350 helicopter, you're in for $350,000. So they're an expensive thing to keep airborne. Yeah, they're expensive. Like they're expensive items, the blades, and they're a consumable. I'll just have a look. Then model helicopters, not real ones. Hang on, Bell 206, there we go. Put a pair of rotor blades up for her. There we go. There we go, second hand. Hang on. There's a pair of Bell 206 rotor blades in America for sale. Bear in mind these are second hand with time on them. Hang on, is it getting me on that? No, it's not allowing me show that. Never mind. But yeah, there's a set there Bell 206 Jet Ranger blades. The 2016, it doesn't say how many hours they've had on them or not. But the second hand $128,000 plus VAT. So the VAT will be a big loading. So yeah. So yeah, in the morning I'll probably be having a walk down to my local helicopter and indulging in some of my helicopter photography. I may even video it. I may take phone and video it. But yeah, it's a while since I've photographed an alley down there. It's a nice place to photograph them. It's a while since I've done it. I wonder if I have any that I've taken there before. I must have. I must have some I've taken on my local helipad. I can't not do. Ah, there's one. There's one of my friend's helicopter. An AS350 Squirrel. On an Ecker eel, as it's called. Because it's French, it's an Ecker eel. I think he's sold it now, though, when retired. He used to own a chain of car sale places, but he was Michael. And he owned, he was based in Isle of Man. But that helicopter is Noel Edmonds' ex-helicopter that used to be white. You saw him knocking about in the 80s. That was Noel Edmonds' helicopter. I'd have liked to have gone on a UH1, but let's be honest, they're very basic and rough, a UH1. I don't know why they had them as an army helicopter. You'd have known they were coming from 10 miles out. I've seen one a few times, and it's a genuine Vietnam one. And when it displays, I've actually been inside it, and it's rough and ready, and still has bullet holes in the floor from the Vietnam War. But you can hear them miles out. There's no secret they come in. If you were on ground and Vietnamese, you could be welled by the time the Americans had got there. Yeah, Brian, hello. Yeah, it's but yeah, we got a lot of military stuff round here. I'm wondering if that helicopter will be on Oh, sorry, it was on Flight Radar. I watched it go in on Flight Radar and I got its reg and looked the helicopter up. So I know it's a National Grid one and no PDG. I know PDG group, helicopter leasing order. You're not late, I'm just. There's no time scale, Brian, and there's no rush. Sometimes I get a bit knackered and I call it a night, but I don't stick to any sort of time scale or any sort of days I'll be on with my lives. It's if I feel like it and I'm off work, I'll do one. If I don't feel like it, I'm not doing it. I don't commit myself to days with my channel, or I'll definitely have a video out this week, or I have to work to a schedule for this. I've not done a diecast in months. I'm going to do one again. I'm going to use my channel. But it's there, and the weird thing is, I've still been getting subscribers, even though I've not been doing anything to it and not been on the channel. I've still been getting subscribers. It's weird. Once you get to a certain level, and if you have interesting content in that interests people, they'll subscribe. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge astronomical amount of people, but that in itself doesn't worry me either. Because, like now, a few more might be nice, but I lose track with where people are up to now. Like, because you have to look at the chat. When you get a lot of subscribers, the chat's just going past like that. So it's not really quality. They're missing out on a lot of the stuff. And I like being able to just turn around every now and again, look down. It's more personal than once you start getting to large amounts of subscribers, you lose that personal thing. Because it flashes by and people think, why didn't the bastard acknowledge that? It was a good comment. And I still miss stuff, even though it's slow, but when they're going past like that, you think, they didn't acknowledge that, and that were a bloody good comment, or it were really relevant. And when you get big, dude, like, there's so much good stuff that must go past when they're doing lives. Hey, no, that's a thing in itself, Brian. I might see you eventually for some of the super fast boxes, because super fast is my bag. I've got a nice flying bug I want a box for. Yeah, cheers. I'm not particularly ready yet, because let's be honest, for me mint ones, all I'll be doing, I've not got cabinet space yet, so I'd be putting it in the box and in a matchbox carry case, because they just built big enough for the box. the sizing. So if you get it so the box goes into the carry case spaces, you're on the right track for Matchbox, like the super fast, because they just fit. But yeah, one of me cats has decided, well, sneaky bastard, the one that's the hide and seek champion. I came home from work last night and I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I won't go in my normal way. I'll walk past my front window. I'll go around the other way and walk past the front window before I come in. And I walked past the front window and I looked up. The cheeky little fucker that was missing nearly a week, he's sat on the windowsill. I went, that's not Ernie, that's Eric. He's got less white on his face. I thought, I'm positive that's him. So anyway, today I went all round and I was dragging couches out, looking underneath, blocking holes up so they can't get in and behind them and stuff. And I've left one for them, an hiding spot. But I dragged the last couch out and he was tucked in, fucking happily hiding underneath. I knew he was there because he was eating and leaving shit in the litter tray for me to clean up. But apart from that, he was a rhino cat. If people know what rhino means. If you know what rhino means, you lived in the 70s and wagged it from school. If you know what rhino means. Hands up, class. Who knows what rhino means? Does anybody know what rhino means? Oh, hang on. Wrong medicine. Don't want too much of that. I'll be too happy. Or dead. Could go either way. Spot on, Valleys. It was when you used to go in school in the morning, get your tick in the register, then fuck off for the rest of the day. So the wagmaster used to come, but it was what it meant, registered in name only. Or really, what it meant was really here in name only, where you get the rhino. But that was it, it was recorded as registered in name only, because you go, James, here, then fuck off and do what you wanted for the rest of the day. It was the old wagmasters thing. They must still have them, you know. They can't not have truants officers nowadays. I'm thinking that may well be my next railway project. It was a Santa Fe body, but it was slightly damaged and didn't have all the rails. And I bought the loco for £9.99. fully running, good loco, with Santa Fe body. Didn't have all the rails and that, but I swapped it out and put a Southern Pacific body on it. That was £10. So for £20, I've got a really good loco there. And that light box were in another loco, the light box there. That's going to go in the top so it lights up the number board and the headlights above the cab. That's going to go in there. So I think I might make a start on that tomorrow. Although my intended thing was to make a start on that for my diecast channel. Like a Ford panel van. I bought some alloy wheels and they show the disc brakes off behind. It's got like Brembo disc brakes on it and stuff. Let me think. It's not a GP, it's an SD 45, SD 40 or 45. Because the body that was on it was an SDP 40. Yeah, it was an SDP 40 body that were on it before, and I've changed it for an SD 45 body. I don't know what the P signified on the SDP 40. But the biggest hassle with them when you're doing that is finding out who used what locos, because they all use different locos. Like I've got one ready there and I've got the decals for it. Where'd I put my book of decals? I've got a decals file here just for my railways. I've got another one for die casts. But I've got one and it's one of the U-boats. It's one of the U-boats and I want to do it in Conrail. Well, that's my book, decals, American Railroad decals. It's got all sorts in there. Rio Grande, Union Pacific. Great Northern, Burlington Northern. CC&W. And who's the other one? Here we go. Main Central. There's just so much, and each one of these, you have to know with Bangor and a Rooster. Bangor and a Rooster diesels, that one. I'd never heard of it until I got the decals. Rio Grande narrow gauge freight cars. So it even covers American narrow gauge. More Union Pacific. Main Central. Where's me? Bloody. I want me Conrail, but Santa Fe. Those are just data plates for the different locos. Where have I put? Those are Santa Fe and Southern Pacific. Ah, there they go. There's one I want to do blue, and I've got the Conrail decals there for it, so that's one. That's a U-boat. I think it's a U36. I don't know, but it's a U-boat. Well, it's a very complex subject, identifying the American stuff, because there's a huge degree of locos they have, and then you get them in different liveries, and the same loco can look completely different in another livery. It's a massive field of knowledge, the American railroad stuff, what they do on them. I mean, we have, and then after all that, because they're all different companies, and at all different times of life, there's been so many railroad companies that have come and gone, like Chesapeake and Ohio, and that went into Chessie system, and but over the years liveries change as well. Even the model companies release locos in liveries they were never in. It's weird, like it's even the model companies lose track. Because it's an interesting thing, American locos. Because there's some big thundering beasts. And like, what gets me though, right, is well, our class 59 and 66s and stuff, they're American locos. Now, why did they design it with cabs like they got? Why didn't we get the American locos like the Americans get? Don't get me wrong, they're terrific pieces of kit. They're made really well. They have much awful to say, because I back the British engineering and design up every time. But it's horrible to say the American gear is far more reliable. The Class 66s are far more reliable than any of our locos were. And if you're running a railway company, that matters to you. If you've to get freight around the country. I have some chocolate in the fridge I might go for. It is smaller, the loading gauge valleys. In a way, really, being first with railways did us no favours, because we restricted our stuff to very small stuff. Like in America, they've got double-decker container wagons. France have double-decker trains. Like by being the first with the railways, we restricted ourselves to size as well as being an island. In fact, even our gauge, the worst one of the two, won out because Brunel's broad gauge were the better of the two. It was bigger and it was a better gauge. It was wider. You imagine what we'd have had now if we'd have had that. You could carry more people, more freight. And it weren't just a little bit, it was a lot wider. It'd give us a lot more scope for operations. Brunel's broad gauge. Hey, the mistakes you make. I'm going to the fridge for some chocolate. Well, I'll go to our back door. Hello, Ella. Here we are. Back again. Raisin and biscuit. Raisin and biscuit Yorkie. It's not for girls. You know, 75p. 75p. When I were a lad, that were about 15p, if not less. Maybe 10p that. We're taking it up the bottom. You're going to leave... You're going to have an angry bun? Pray tell, Luke, what's the angry bun? How big is my railway layout? Good question, Brian. It's double O gauge and it's 15 foot by 4 foot. Aha! At first though, Brian, you think you have loads of room to play with that size for double O. And I thought I'd get what I wanted to do on it, which was where it was the small area where my signal box was and a couple of lines that split and a good shard that come out, a couple of bridges. And I'm doing echoes of that, if you will. It's taking inspiration from that, but I didn't have enough space to do the area justice. So I'm taking buildings from it, bridges for it. From it, I'm doing buildings that were there. I'm scratch building some stuff. I've got the basics down, and I've to finish off laying my track, then start building the second layer baseboard for all my town at the top and roads and stuff, and then I have to wire all my points into a signal box thing for flicking the points because I'm installing electric points. So there's a load of wiring to do when I get down to it. At the moment, though, just for fun, I'm going to be I've not completed my second line, but I'm going to run 2 lines around so I can have trains passing each other, and I can work on the scenery and stuff, and run trains and have a bit of fun. But there's loads to do. I think I'm going to do something on it tomorrow and film what I do. Because I have to do a layout update for this month. But I'm going to include people from them times when I worked on railway. Time for another picture from me youth. Get another picture, well, a couple of pictures from me youth. First one. Hang on. Let's have a look. Oh. First one, Charlie, the signal box cat. Right, next. Next one, my actual signal box I worked in. It's long gone now, it's all demolished. Quite a sad state of affairs, really. But it's the way it goes, I suppose. But yeah, that signal box I worked in. Windsor Bridge. It was you can't see it right good, but you can see the actual name board isn't spaced correctly. There's a bigger gap at the end than at the beginning. That's because it was known originally as Windsor Bridge number 3, because there were 2 other Windsor Bridge signal boxes in the area. But that's my actual box where I worked at as a teenager. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. I've got a few photographs I've done. That's a DMU coming towards our box, and you can just see the old semaphores. You can just see the old semaphore signals in the distance behind it. There we go. That path at the side, at the right-hand side, is where I used to ride down. It went up to the main road, which is the bridge under the signal gantry there. I used to ride my motorcycle, unlock the gate, ride my motorcycle down to the box. But far left on the top of the bank is a burnt out building, which I'll have fun depicting, because that's going to be one that appears. Let's have a look. Something else. Have a look for another. I've got a few. There's a picture of me somewhere in the box. There's a spotted teenager. Is that it? That's it, yeah. The picture of me working box as a spotted teenager. Signalmen used to let you work the box, use the block instruments and pull the levers off, and if you accomplished working the trains. But yeah, happy days. That was through some of the terrible snow. I think it might have been early 82, that. But it was awful snow that year, and we had a strike during that winter. So I thought, thank God for that, I don't have to go to work in the snow. I thought, awesome, I don't have to go to work in the snow today. It was one of them things when you were younger, you didn't give a shit about money. I didn't anyway. Where is it? I've got one of the local wild scotches. The Scotch Express. Manchester, Victoria to Glasgow. Hang on, just get it up. Yeah, Manchester, Victoria to Glasgow. I used to sneak out of the box doing all sorts. But that used to be great. Every evening you got it thunder past. Like it pulled off and it used to go, that's the downslope. And it used to go across to the down to Bolton. So it used to cross over. From those rails, it'd be going over there, over and onto those rails there. But yeah. Yeah, that'd have been it. That year I really struggled getting in work, and I only had a little yummy RD50. I managed to get in, but it weren't any fun. I thought, thank God for that when they announced the strike. Yeah. They're quite simple in themselves, point motors. But when you have to rewire them all up, imagine what the real things are like in signal boxes. I used to go in when you got the S&T round. I used to go, and they had get the photograph of the box back up. Where is it? There we go. Now then, we'll get that back up. Hang on, get that. There we go. Now then, where that 40 sign is, the bottom part of the box, that was all your mechanical stuff in there. Like your point levers, your mechanical signal levers with your wires and stuff. You'd get your, well, not wires, cabling. And you have point rodding. You can see the point rods on the floor there, running just at the bottom of the 40 sign, in between the actual rail and the signal box. Those are point rods for releasing the points, and you had interlocking underneath as well. Then at the back of the box, that little up with the blue door, that was the relay room. And you had all the electronics in there. The electric relays for stuff like your block instruments, track relays, well, track circuits, track circuit diagram. It was all to do with the electrics, the relay room. So, and that other shed with the blue door, ignore that. That was just a lean-to and a bog. It was a lean-to for our motorbikes and our bog. But yeah, that was the old-fashioned way they did it. And of course, the new-fashioned way now is no signal box. The station's gone. What you have nowadays, if I can get it, there we go. That's for, I mean, that's while we were building it. So I'll share that. Right, so you can tell by the new ballast, this is when they were justifying and altering all the track work. You can see the old track bed in the dark grey at the right hand side. The box is still hanging on, although its years have been numbered there. The new Salford Crescent station is in place with a little pacer unit. Like even in turn, everything has its turn. And what was a new train there, the pacers, on newish have been retired themselves now. But yeah, that building at the top, as the lines curve round, that's Norweb Electric's building. Norweb Electricity, that was their building. But yeah, you can see all the differences of track work. They've obviously, from the far right, they've took all the track up and they've raked all the ballast, so it's cleaned it. And altered it, just totally altered to what I knew. there. It makes me weak compared to what it was. But yeah, interesting. It is indeed, Valleys. It were a pacer. I've, I liked them more than hated them. They deserved it. Now they're retired. I used to hate catching them when they were in service because they weren't agreed. They weren't nice. They were an awful ride, but they deserved their place in history. They've got our railways over a big patch. They've got newer units that are a lot nicer. Let's be honest, it was a local train on the cheap. Let's be honest, if they hadn't done that with a pacer, they'd have probably lost a lot of local lines. Because the old DMUs were good, but they were getting towards end of life. Yeah, they weren't one of the nicest trains ever built, but they did a job and have a part in our transport history. Should they have ever gone down that route? Another question. I think they should have left designing something new to our own carriage and wagon and our own designers, and we might have still had our own train builders left. But if you're going to piss around and strike and mess about and ask silly prices and not make them efficiently, somebody else will jump in that will do, and foreigners weren't stupid. And now we buy in foreign trains. That were our trouble. They were on strike every month for more pay for not getting the job done. It's harsh, but those are the facts. And somewhere along the line, the boss has to say, now where do we draw the line with this? Concrete sleepers, some places now are starting to use metal sleepers. Pressed metal, I don't know how I feel about that. But the old wood, I don't know. Do they still make wooden sleepers? I doubt it. Well, the thing is, why did we ever change? I understand it for high-speed routes, but wooden sleepers are still doing the job in places. Yeah, and technically I worked on the Blackpool. I was in Salford. I worked on the Blackpool line. And that year, we could have very easily had one of the worst rail disasters for many years. We averted it. Well, we didn't avert it in the box. But it was thanks to a driver's quick thinking. If we'd have had any other driver put that lad on that night, there'd have been a huge rail disaster. Because what we had to do when the Scotch Express, I just mentioned the Scotch Express before, and you can get the picture, it was thundering out of Manchester on the Downslow line, and we had to cross it. Hang on, I'll make it a bit easier to explain. I'll put a photo up of the track diagram. Put a photo up of the track diagram from the box. Where is it? There we go. Right, I'll just get that on now. There we go. No, now. Right, you have that like diamond at the top. That were the sidings we controlled. Now the top line, from left before you get all the crossings, is the Downslow. So the Scotch coming out from Manchester, the Manchester-Glasgow, went from that Downslow line. Then you get to the points, it goes across one line, and then on to the third one down, which was the Fast Bolton. So effectively what we've done Slow to Bolton line crossover. So right, that's the route of the Scotch. Now a train at the same time was coming in on the Upslow, or Up Main we called it. And it's staying on to the up, so that'd have been Main to Slow, because you have all different names of lines, so you know where you're going. So in effect, that Scotch train coming out would have crossed in front of him going the other way. So that's that explained. Now then, just at the end of the platform there, you can see on the main line, at the top right-hand corner, there's a square building, that's your station. And at the bottom left-hand corner of that, there's a little yellow square. That was the distance signal for that line for us. Now, what had happened for us, and it were at a time where we still had the semaphore signal, they're allowed to go past the distance, but they have to take it that if it's at a certain thing, the signal won't be on. Now the thing was, the actual what they called the home signal had frozen into the off position. So as far as that meant to the driver of the train coming inbound, meant he was free to go. But it weren't so in our box. The signal was on. So it meant he had to stop. But the weather conditions had frozen the wires, so it were in the off position. Now any other driver but that old boy would have thought, oh, I'm free to go, and he'd have carried on, and the Scotch had crossed in front of him, and the two of them had collided, and it had been a mess. It had been just the right timing for that to happen. But the old boy, he got to the distance signal and said, something's not right here. And he stopped at the home signal. He didn't carry on, and he formed. And he formed just as it were thundering through. And he said, thank fuck I stopped. And we said, why, what's up, mate? He said, you shouldn't be there. And he went, right. He says, we said, what's going on? And we checked the signal. And he said, fucking hell, it's frozen on. It's frozen in the off position. So we had to get S&T out as an emergency and then run everything with a warning, contact the signalman and everything. But yeah, we come so close to a huge disaster that day. Right, see you later, Brian. Yeah, but we came so close to a major disaster on that day. Imagine, I think they used to run 7 carriages in a class 47 on the Glasgow X. I think it were around 7 carriages. May have been a couple more, depending on what they wanted run. But there'd have been that, and it'd have collided with a 2-car DMU. Going up the main line, there were usually 2-car DMUs, because it were just to Wigan and Southport and stuff. But it'd have been a major disaster. Hiya, Jessica, you alright, lad? He was one of the old boys, Valleys, and he remembered the timetable, and he knew there was Scotch were due. And he thought, hang on, wait a minute. Jesus, if that driver hadn't been on that night, and he'd have been one with a little bit lesser knowledge of what we're running, or one that weren't on the ball, it'd have been a major disaster. God knows how many lives lost. Thank God that boy were on. Because we were clueless it had happened in the box. He was frozen in the off position as far as my signalman knew. The lever was back in the on position for the home signal. So we both, the signalman and me, both looked at each other and went, fuck. And the driver, God bless him at the time, he just turned round and said, let's keep this to ourselves, shall we? So he kept it out of it, me and her. We just got hold of S&T as a matter of urgency and did all the right things. But he said, save anybody getting in trouble. He said, keep it to ourselves. And he were a man of his word, he did. We got S&C out, solved the problem. But shit. Thank God he were an old school boy. Instead of one of these clever modern day I know everything people. Fantastic, Jessica. How it been going on, lad? What's that been up to? I'm having a few more minutes, then I'll probably call it a night. I've done nearly 2 hours now. It's gone past wonderfully and been super. I quite enjoy it. It's a nice catch up. Like I say, I'm sporadic with them. Keep your eye out, but I don't stick to timetables. I don't see any point in all that. I'm a working lad and I've got other things to do as well. I enjoy doing my channel. I'll put the odd video up, but I've never commit myself to I've got to have a video out every Monday or every second Monday, or I've got to do a live every week at the same time a week, or it gets monotonous then, and you start feeling stale. Like you're committing yourself to something, and I don't want to be doing it, I'm honest. I enjoy doing my channel in its form. If you catch me, you'd catch me. If you don't, there'll be another time. There'll be other times, and there's my videos. I'm also on Facebook. I actually have my Shaky Hands Shed Facebook page. I don't use it as much as I should do, but it's there. But more than that, I go in the DMC, which is the diecast modelling communities, on diecast modelling and community on Facebook, which is a good thing to join in with. It's not just diecast cars, they welcome model railway people and plastic modelers, and mostly people just post up die-cast cars, and it's a modeller's community. So you could have figures you've painted or model cars you've made, model aircraft, right? It covers a huge variety of stuff, radio controlled boats or aircraft or cars. Like, there's so much it covers. Like, posts are welcome from anyone. Oh, very nice. I like to hear the 40. I heard a lot of 40s back in my day, from inside and outside. I did a lot of class 40 cab miles back in the day, when they were still running on BR. I'd have made a lot of the bashers. So jealous. I did so many miles cab riding class 40s because they were hugely popular amongst the spotters. And the bashers in the last day were going everywhere to be behind 40s. And I just par for the course used to get loads of free cab rides. Like the nicest one I used to do with Manchester to Holyhead. Get a cab ride on that and it was beautiful. Through Llandudno, Bangor, Holyhead. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, Conway, all that, it was beautiful. Then I did York as well, and Blackpool, Southport, Sheffield. I used to get all over the place, and on all sorts. Old fella weren't just limited to class forces. I were on DMUs, 110s. I used to ride 110s regular DMUs. The amount I must have done Neil Armstrong mileage on 110 DMU. Yeah, Valleys, I've got a 9F I could do with doing. It's an evening star, but I could do with making a normal 9F out of it. Which I think I'll do a full service, a repaint and a weathering. It's an old Army 9F, but the thing is, whatever you're weathering, it's all the same techniques. Whether you're using old models or new models, it's all the exact same techniques. Anyway, I've passed the 2 hour mark. Starting feeling a bit knackered. I want a wee. So I think I'll call it a night, lads. Oh, cool. I bet that were a good one, Vallis. Bet that were a cracker. See, they do, I think they did a Crosty boiler kit for one, and there's a Hornby sound chip for a Crosty 9F, and I don't know whether to get the kit for it and get the Crosty boiler sound, DCC sound, and do a conversion to sound on it, and as well as converting it to a Crosty. I don't know. Yeah, there's lots of people have it because the Crosty boiler isn't a really popular one on it. Yeah, I've enjoyed it too as well tonight, Ian. Good bit of fun. But as I get older now with work and all my commitments, I get tired quicker nowadays. When you're doing something, you wear yourself out quicker. It's a bummer with age. Yeah, take care, everyone. I really am going now. You've had your chances to say night, John Boy, and night, Mary Ellen. We've had all that. All it takes is to say thank you very much to everyone for dropping in. and I'll see you on the next one. And tatty pie, everyone. Tatty pie.